In the late 1960s, inside the bustling laboratories of 3M, a young chemist named Spencer Silver was on a mission. His goal was to create a super-strong adhesive that could revolutionize industries like aerospace and construction. But instead of achieving his target, he stumbled upon something unexpected: a low-tack, reusable adhesive that barely stuck at all. At first glance, it seemed like a failure. The adhesive didn't adhere strongly enough to hold anything securely. It peeled off effortlessly, leaving no residue behind. To many, this would have been the end of the road, an experiment gone wrong, destined to be forgotten. But Spencer saw something others couldn't. He felt a flicker of curiosity, a quiet intuition that whispered, "This might be useful someday." For years, Spencer carried this belief with him, presenting his invention to colleagues and managers at 3M. Each time he was met with polite smiles and dismissive shrugs. "We're looking for strong adhesives, not weak ones. What's the point of glue that doesn't stick? Interesting concept, but I don't see any practical applications." Spencer walked away from these meetings dejected but resolute. Deep down, he knew there was potential hidden in his creation. He just needed someone else to see it too. Years passed, and the adhesive remained shelved, gathering metaphorical dust. Then fate intervened in the form of Art Fry, another 3M employee with a problem only Spencer's invention could solve. Art Fry was an avid singer in his church choir. Every Sunday, he'd carefully place bookmarks in his hymnal to mark the songs for the service. But every week, those bookmarks slipped out mid-song, forcing him to fumble through pages while trying to keep up with the choir. Frustrated, Art remembered Spencer's peculiar adhesive and had a flash of inspiration. One evening, Art sat at his kitchen table, cutting small squares of paper and coating them with the low-tack adhesive. When he tested them in his hymnal, they worked perfectly. They stayed put during the service but peeled off cleanly afterward without damaging the pages. For the first time, Spencer's failed invention found a purpose. But Art wasn't content to stop there. He envisioned a world where these sticky notes weren't just bookmarks, they were tools for organization, reminders, messages, and more. He began experimenting further, refining the design and dreaming of possibilities far beyond the church choir. Excited by his discovery, Art brought his idea to 3M's leadership team. Surely they would see its brilliance and rush it into production. Instead, he faced resistance once again. A piece of paper that sticks temporarily. Who needs that? Sounds like a gimmick. Our focus is on high-tech innovations, not trivial office supplies. Art left the meeting disheartened but determined. If the executives wouldn't listen, he'd prove them wrong himself. With the help of a small group of believers within 3M, he arranged a bold experiment. They distributed free samples of the sticky notes to secretaries and office workers across the country, asking only for feedback in return. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. Offices buzzed with excitement as people discovered countless uses for the little yellow squares. Secretaries used them to leave reminders for their bosses. Managers jotted down ideas and stuck them to walls for brainstorming sessions. Co-workers exchanged playful notes, brightening each other's days. The response was overwhelming. People loved them. Armed with glowing testimonials and skyrocketing demand, Art returned to the executives. This time, they couldn't ignore the evidence. In 1980, 3M officially launched the product under the name Post-it Notes. The rollout was modest at first, but word of mouth quickly turned it into a cultural phenomenon. Offices transformed overnight as colorful sticky notes appeared everywhere on desks, walls, refrigerators, and even foreheads. People realized they weren't just buying a product, they were embracing a new way to think, organize, and connect. Artists used them to create murals. Teachers used them to engage students. Families used them to leave love notes for one another. Today, Post-it notes are sold in over 150 countries and come in countless shapes, sizes, and colors. What started as a failed adhesive became a symbol of creativity, collaboration, and human ingenuity. So what can we learn from Spencer Silver, Art Fry, and the sticky revolution? Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs arise from accidents or failures. What seems insignificant to some may hold untapped potential waiting to be uncovered. And when others doubt you, remember, visionaries aren't defined by the obstacles they face, they're defined by their refusal to give up. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Just ask Spencer and Art. Their persistence transformed a useless adhesive into a tool that reshaped how the world communicates. So the next time you encounter a setback, ask yourself, could this be the beginning of something extraordinary? Be curious. Be persistent. Turn failure into fortune.